Today we are starting the install of the US Car Tool Stiffening Kit on this Dodge Challenger. This has the frame rail connectors, the inner fender supports, and the torque boxes. We'll also be doing a transmission tunnel modification for the large 8-speed transmission, and then we'll eventually do the leaf spring relocation mounts. So the way this works, we have a couple braces and stuff that basically fit up on here like so on either side. And then we'll have this part weld up against it like so. And then the big piece fits in and gets welded on like that. Now in the instructions they do say to remove these shocks because if you're planning on reusing it, they will get damaged with, you know, splatter and whatnot. This is all gonna get replaced, so we're gonna leave it in the car for now. So we went ahead, we cleaned up all of the spots where all the panels are going to sit. I painted some spots black where I'm not going to weld to and where I can't get to later. And then we went ahead and sprayed some weld through primer around on areas to make sure they're all protected. Okay, so we have these plates tacked on as of the moment. Up next will be this plate, which will basically sit something like that. So we had these side brackets, those are all welded on. I cleaned up the welds. Now this plate, I just tacked in place with 4 spots, and then we'll test fit the big panel to make sure everything lines up. Okay, so there we have it. It's kind of sitting in place. You can kind of see that that kind of goes underneath this big large panel. It just kind of slides in place. We'll clean this up and we'll probably paint the inside of this as well before we actually go putting it on. Okay, so now we have that plate welded on. Now we'll clean up the welds a little bit and put the big guy on. Okay, there we have the inner fender bracing. It's all tacked up in place. Now we're just gonna go ahead and finish welding it on. This side is welded on. I have the other side tacked on now. This is probably taking me, I don't know, maybe 3 hours or so between cleaning everything, priming everything. Still got a few spots that I missed. I gotta go back and re-weld those spots, but it all looks pretty good. I gotta clean up some welds and everything, and then I gotta finish doing the other side. So up next, we're probably gonna do the core support. We'll probably save the spring relocation for last, and maybe the wheel tubs for last. Okay, so we are going to do the core support next. And basically, that consists of this big panel here, pretty much fitting up there. Now what you haven't seen me do is this thing here was all mangled up and bent up really bad. You can still see it's kind of messed up here still. I started to straighten it out and we're going to continue to straighten it out. Then we're going to clean it all off and burn the new panel in. After it was all clean, we hit it with some weld through primer. Okay, so we have everything all well clamped on there, cleaned up, ready to go. Alright, so we have the lower core support welded on tonight. Alright, so last I left off, we had the inner fender supports welded in, and today we finished up the core support. Tomorrow we'll probably move on to the subframe connectors, and then probably the transmission tunnel. So next we're going to do the frame rail connectors on the Challenger. There is a left and a right side, so make sure you don't get them mixed up. Before welding in the frame rail connectors, make sure you clean out the inside of the car. Last thing you want's a fire. So under the car, we went ahead and removed the e-brake cable, and it's going to fit along the lines of the frame rail all the way to the front up here. Now there's certain things like steel, like right here, that's all bent up out of shape. We need to flatten that all out, and we'll test fit the frame rail. Okay, so we have it mounted up there. We have this jack sitting underneath it and to kind of get it in place. We have a little bit of a gap here, so we'll have to get all this paint and rubberized undercoating off, and hopefully that'll take care of the gap. Now we're going to go ahead and tack this on in place, and we'll fit some of our gaps, like this one right here, from the other side of the panel. We finished welding in to one side. Now we just need to go ahead and complete the other side. Alright, so now we have the frame rails all welded in place. Got to clean up a few welds. Should be ready to rock and roll. We'll move on to the torque boxes next. We cleaned off all the rust and undercoating and applied some weld through primer. This is part of the front stiffening. We're actually not going to use this on our car, being it already has some installed. We went ahead and fully welded in the rear torque box area. Okay, so we have everything welded on for the stiffening kit from US Car Tool. The core support, the inner fender structures, everything's ground down and cleaned up. We also have the subframe connectors, and we have the torque boxes in there. Yeah, there's the rear torque boxes. The front torque boxes were actually already installed, so we didn't actually have to worry about those ones. So now we're gonna go ahead and epoxy everything, and then we might run some seam sealer along some of the edges. Now, one of the things I used before painting, I used the Afterblast, and then I used this as the epoxy primer to protect it. And there we have it. It is sealed, or epoxy, sealed, and painted. One of the other things we did is in these little holes here, we used like a cavity wax, or specifically what I used was the protectant spray that we get from Eastwood. It has a little straw on it, and the straw goes in through these holes, and as you pull it and spray, it lines the inside. Now this is from Eastwood. It's an internal frame coating. It has a little straw on it. You stick it inside your frame rails and you just drag it along, and it coats the inside, protects it from any bare metal showing, rusting, and things like that. There's the front inner fenders, our core support, and of course the other side. I almost forgot. I also installed this kit with the hood hinges on, and I forgot that the paint got damaged underneath the hood hinge, so I had to take the hinges off and make sure I grinded that down nice and clean and paint that to prevent from rusting. So next we're going to install the US Car Tool transmission tunnel, which consists of these parts that will cut a hole in the floor, and those will weld to the side, and then we have a couple covers. We went ahead and assembled the side rails. We tacked it together to keep it in place and test fitted it inside the car many times. Here you can see what it looks like fully assembled on a bench. We used some screws to kind of mount everything into position. We also did this so that we could continue to mount it in the car just to do test fitting. Now this full assembly will get welded together by the time it's done. These upper covers, they can either be welded on, or for ease of access to the transmission and stuff, you can use rib nuts and make them removable, which is what we're going to do in our application. Like I said, we did a lot of test fitting with these panels. After it's actually set in exactly where you want it to be, you can trace out the outline and cut out the floor. You can also see how high this brings up for clearance on your transmission, and this will set it just about at this height. Also supplied in this kit is the new transmission tunnel loop. This we have screwed to the firewall for now for just locating. We'll weld it all together when done. We also test fitted the covers. We screwed those down just to hold them in position. Okay, so we have the hole cut out. We got everything, all our edges and stuff cleaned up. We have the edges cleaned up on the transmission tunnel itself as well. And we'll go ahead and start welding this thing in. Alright, so we have it all welded in. We got to clean up some welds, and then we can use some rib nuts to hold the covers down. We need to cut out this cross member as well out of the car, and US Car Tool also supplies this plate right here, and basically it's going to take up the slack right there, give us a maximum room for transmissions no matter what we put in it. Okay, so we have all of this cut out, and then we will just stick our plates in place. And there you have it. Now we have these welded down. Everything's nice, neat, clean on there. So now we have plenty of room for the transmission and whatever we want else to fit in there. Now we're jumping back into installing the transmission covers. We'll take our screws out. Those also line up a hole so we can drill this perfectly and install a rib nut. This rib nut will go in there, and we can remove the covers with just a simple bolt. So we went ahead and primed everything on the underside as well. We did it in a black, or I shouldn't say primed, we epoxied it. We used epoxy from Eastwood, just like we did on the other components. And now we're going to go ahead and use some seam sealer. The seam sealer we're going to use is this by Sem, and we have a few different applicators for it. So we have this style where, you know, you just basically pump it like a caulk gun. And then I have this style, which is a pneumatic, and I just plugs it into my air, and I control the speed of how quick it comes out. We also have these different tubes, and we also have these fittings to kind of give a factory appearance where it spreads the sealant out. There we have it. As you can see, it's it's a little hard to see because it's a black primer and epoxy that I used, but it's all been painted. We're going to use some seam sealer across a few spots where it kind of looks a little boogered up, and also just to seal in some areas. Okay, there we go. We have it all seam sealed in, leak free, everything's smooth, no holes. There we have it. US Car Tool transmission tunnel is in, along with the subframe connectors and the inner fender brace. Also have the lower core support. Next up, on the 71 Challenger, we are going to install the rear leaf spring relocation kit. We're also going to do a mini tub, and then we have a new rear axle that's coming in from QuickTime Performance. We also have a RideTech 4-link suspension system that's going in the car, but that's going to have to be another video. So please follow, like, and tune in for the updates on that progress as well.